Alors, bonsoir tout le monde et bienvenue à cette séance ordinaire du conseil municipal de la ville de Kirkland en ce lundi 3 octobre 2022. Nous allons d'abord adopter l'ordre du jour. Alors, il est proposé d'adopter l'ordre du jour de la présente séance ordinaire du 3 octobre 2022 tel que déposé.
Un proposeur, s'il vous plaît.
Je le propose, Dominique Zito.
Et secondé par
Je second Nancy Cook-Mercedes.
C.
Under item 3 minutes, first item is 3.1. It is proposed that the minutes of the regular sitting held on September 6, 2022 at 8 p.m. be approved.
I propose that, Cliff.
And second.
I second that, John Morrison.
Thank you.
Au point 4, en préambule, il est proposé de confirmer et d'approuver le paiement d'un montant total de 4 116 571,25 $ pour l'ensemble des chèques émis et annulés, les dépôts directs et les paiements préautorisés pour la période du 1er au 30 septembre 2022.
OK. Un proposeur.
Je l'ai proposé, c'est Bouchard.
Et secondé par
I'll second that, Mike Brown.
Under item 5, bylaws, it is proposed that a council member give notice of motion that bylaw number Gen-2022-55, entitled Bylaw Concerning Dog Parks, be presented for adoption at a subsequent sitting of the municipal council. It is also proposed that a draft of this bylaw, which is made available to the public on the town's website, be tabled by this council member. The object of this bylaw is to replace bylaw Gen-5 in light of the opening of the new dog park at Libinable Park. This bylaw is scheduled to be adopted at the November 7, 2022 regular sitting of council.
j'ai besoin tout simplement d'un proposeur.
Je vais déposer une motion. Dominique Zito.
Merci.
Nous sommes maintenant au point 6, contrat. Le premier, le 3 du contrat TP 2022-40, damage de sentiers de ski de fond pour les périodes hivernales 2022-2023 et 2023-2024. Suivant cet appel d'offres sur invitation, une soumission a été reçue à l'intérieur du délai imparti. La soumission a été ouverte le 27 septembre 2022 et à la suite d'un examen des documents reçus, la soumission a été jugée conforme au document d'appel d'offres. Il est proposé d'octroyer le contrat TP 2022-40 à Snow Innovation Inc., le plus bas soumissionnaire conforme, pour un montant de 54 958,05 $, toutes taxes applicables incluses.
Un proposeur.
Je le propose Nancy Cook-Mercedes.
Et secondé.
I second that, Cliff.
Merci.
Item 6.2 is the awarding of contract INFAL 2022-02, modernization of the town of Kirkland's IT infrastructure. Considering that pursuant to decree number 2021-04, the town of Kirkland has requested the services of Infrastructure Technologie du Québec within the framework of the programme de consolidation des centres de traitement informatique and the optimization of processing and storage of the ministère de la cybersécurité et du numérique du Québec. It is proposed to authorize a total expenditure of $457,591.40, all applicable taxes included, under the terms of contract by mutual agreement number INFAL 2022-02, and to accept the offer of contract by mutual agreement with ITI Inc., the supplier having been qualified by the ministère de la cybersécurité et du numérique du Québec, based on the model provided by the government, for that amount, all applicable taxes included, and to authorize the payment of management fees of 2% of the value of the contract to be collected by the ministère de la cybersécurité et du numérique du Québec, acting as cloud broker in accordance with its fee schedule, and to authorize Mr. Mark Terry, Division Head, Information Technology, to sign for and on behalf of the town the contract by mutual agreement with ITI Inc. and the commitment with the Ministère de la Sécurité du Numérique de Québec, as well as all other documents that may be required.
Okay, propose.
I'll propose that, Steve Bouchard.
And second? I need somebody to second.
I'll second it, Dominic Zito.
Au point 6.3, il s'agit d'un achat regroupé. Considérant que la ville de Kirkland a participé à l'appel d'offres public numéro 22-19388 de la ville de Montréal pour la fourniture de sel de déglaçage traité déchaussé pour la saison hivernale 2022-2023 pour une quantité estimée de 2800 tonnes, représentant un montant de 100,72 $ la tonne métrique. Il est proposé d'autoriser une dépense totale de 324 247,90 $, toute taxe applicable incluse, pour la fourniture de sel de déglaçage traité déchaussé pour la saison hivernale 2022-2023 du 15 septembre 2022 au 30 avril 2023 avec la firme Cargill Sel Sécurité routière.
Le proposeur
I'll propose that, Mike Brown.
est secondé.
Je le seconde, Dominic Zito.
Item 6.4, it is proposed to authorize an additional expenditure of $21,267.61, all applicable taxes included, payable to Agro Design Inc. for additional work carried out under contract TP 2021-17-1, tree felling work with 2 renewal options.
Propose.
I'll propose that Nancy
And
considers.
second?
I'll second that, John Morrison.
Le point 6.5, il est proposé d'autoriser une dépense additionnelle de 34 053,28 $, toute taxe applicable incluse, payable à USB Global Inc. pour des frais supplémentaires effectués dans le cadre du contrat TP 2021-34, entretien du bac roulant avec 4 options de renouvellement.
Le proposeur
Je le propose, Dominic Zito.
est secondé par?
I second that, Karen Cliff.
Item 6.6, it is proposed to authorize an additional expenditure of $6,486.32, all applicable taxes included, payable to Provencher Roy Associés, Architect Inc., for additional work carried out under contract URBA 2020-01, professional development services for a special planning program for the Kirkland Rail Station area.
Propose.
I'll propose that, Steve Bouchard.
And second?
I'll second that, Mike Brown.
Nous sommes maintenant au point 7, administration et finances. Le premier point, c'est point 1. Il s'agit du comité de retraite, la nomination des membres. Il est proposé de nommer à titre de représentant de l'employeur au comité de retraite des employés de la ville de Kirkland, Mme Nadine Bassila et Messieurs Stéphane Bouchard, Luciano Picciacca et Joseph Nalitro, et de confier à ses représentants un mandat du 1er novembre 2022 au 31 octobre 2025.
Le proposeur
Je vais proposer John Morrison.
est secondé par?
I'll second that Nancy considers.
Merci.
Item 7.2, it is proposed to authorize Mr. Joseph Nalitro, Directeur Général, to sign for and on behalf of the town of Kirkland, the agreement regarding water, sewer, stormwater, and road infrastructure work near the Kirkland Rail Station and any other document required to implement this agreement.
Propose.
I propose that Karen Cliff.
And second?
I'll second that, Steve Bouchard.
Au point 7.3, il est proposé d'autoriser les ajouts suivants à la liste de contributions aux organismes communautaires locaux approuvés par le conseil municipal pour l'année 2022. Le premier est Kirkland Concert Band pour un montant de 637,50 $. Et le deuxième est le Canadian Red Cross pour le Hurricane Fiona and Canada Appeal pour un montant de 10 000 $.
Le proposeur
I'll propose this, Mike Brown.
est In second,
I'll second it, Dominic Zito.
$10 000.
okay.
Item 8, human resources. The first item is 8.1. It is proposed to appoint Ms. Maud Lopez to the white-collar position of Communications Officer, Internal and External Communications within the Communications and Public Relations Department of the Town of Kirkland as of October 17, 2022. The whole in accordance with the provisions of the collective agreement currently in effect for white-collar employees of the Town of Kirkland.
By the way, I would just like to remercier our administration for doing a great job that they did based on our direction. We were able to sign a 10-year agreement with our white collar, something that's not seen in the municipal world. So thank you very much to the administration to follow our directive. Thank you very much. I need a proposer,
I'll propose that, John Morrison.
and second by?
I'll second that, Nancy Kuknisis.
Alors, le point 8.2, il est proposé d'entériner la convention collective 2021-2030 des employés col blanc de la ville de Kirkland et la mise à jour de la politique d'emploi des employés cadres de la ville de Kirkland.
The proposer,
I'll propose that, Steve Bouchard.
and second?
I'll second that, Karen Cliff.
Just to say, I read what I just read to you previously. You should have been at this article at the point. So, thank you again. Okay, go ahead.
Item 9.1 is the appointment of members for the Planning Advisory Committee. It is proposed to appoint the members of the Planning Advisory Committee as follows. Co-chairman, Stephen Bouchard, Councillor. Co-chairman, Mr. Luciano Pichacchia, Councillor. Secretaries, Mr. Luther Gutierrez, or Mr. Alexandre Gervais, both of the Urban Planning Environment Department. Resource person, Mr. Christopher Parham of the Urban Planning and Environment Department, and inspection clerks of the same department, and Ms. Rosemary Caparelli, Mr. Nadi Jorda, Ms. Gilda Paulin, Mr. Jean-Marc Roberge, Ms. Joanna Theodorescu, and there's also 2 vacant spots. And to grant the members of the Planning Advisory Committee a mandate from November 1st, 2022 to October 31st, 2023, and to set the date of the regular monthly meetings on the second Tuesday of the month beginning at 7 p.m.
That's right. Okay, proposer,
I'll propose this, Mike Brown.
and second?
And I'll second that, John Morrison.
Le point 9.2, il est proposé de prendre acte de la demande d'approbation des plans d'implantation et d'intégration architecturale et des documents d'accompagnement relativement au projet d'agrandissement sur le lot 6436113 dans la zone 233C située au 16 821 route transcanadienne et de l'extrait du procès-verbal du CCU daté du 13 septembre 2022 et d'approuver tel quel les plans d'implantation et d'intégration architecturale énumérés au point 2.1.1 du procès-verbal de la réunion du CCU du 13 septembre 2022, ces plans étant conformes au règlement numéro PIA 2022-55 et ayant fait l'objet d'une recommandation favorable du CCU.
And this is the projet d'agrandissement of the Canadian Tire. We mentioned Bola here, but it's the Canadian Tire will be expanding their operation. I need a proposer,
I'll propose that, Steve Bouchard.
and second?
I'll second it, Dominic Zito.
Thank you.
Item 9.3, it is proposed to accept as a condition precedent to the subdivision application for the creation of the lots in accordance with the cadastral parcel plan dated March 18, 2022, a monetary contribution of $66,000 $1,604.97, representing 10% of the value entered on the assessment roll for lots 6507132, 6507133, 6507134, and 6507135, multiplied by the factor established for the roll, the whole in accordance with section 2.38 of bylaw number 9059 entitled subdivision bylaw, and to authorize the director of the urban planning and environment department or the assistant general manager and treasurer to sign for and on behalf of the town all documents required to give effect to this resolution.
This would be la rue des Artistes, and that's in the west side, yeah, District 8. Yeah, District 8. I need somebody to propose,
I'll propose that, Steve Bouchard.
and second.
And I'll second that, John Morrison.
Thank you.
Nous sommes maintenant au point 10, le point 10.1. Il est proposé de nommer les membres du comité de démolition de la ville de Kirkland comme suit. Le maire, M. Michel Gibson, agissant comme président, ou en son absence ou en cas d'incapacité d'agir, le maire suppléant. Les conseillers, M. Steven Bouchard et Luciano Picciacchia. Secrétaire, M. Luther Gutierrez, du service de l'aménagement urbain et de l'environnement. Et les personnes ressources, M. Christopher Parent ou Alexandre Gervais, également du service de l'aménagement urbain et de l'environnement. Et d'accorder aux membres du comité de démolition un mandat s'échelonnant du 1er novembre 2022 au 31 octobre 2023.
Un proposeur,
I propose that Karen Cliff.
qui est secondé par.
I'll second that Nancy Koufianis.
Merci.
We are now under item 11.1. It is proposed to appoint the members of the Public Security and Traffic Advisory Committee as follows. Chairman, Mr. Paul Dufault, Councillor. Vice Chairman, Mr. John Morrison, Councillor. Secretary, Mr. Samuel Tuck, Director, Engineering Department. Road Safety Advisor, representative of the PDQ-1. And the voting members being Mr. David Pisson, Mr. Rémi Baudage, Mr. Frank Yorio, and Ms. Valérie Miller, to grant the mandate to the members of the Public Security and Traffic Committee for the period extending from November 1st, 2022 to October 31st, 2023, and to set the date at which this committee shall hold its regular monthly sitting to the fourth Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m.
Proposer,
I'll propose it, Dominic Zito.
and second.
And I'll second that, Mike Brown.
Thank you.
Au point 12, environnement, le 12.1, il est proposé d'autoriser la ville de Kirkland à promouvoir l'événement Semaine québécoise de réduction des déchets 2022 et d'inviter les résidents de Kirkland à participer en grand nombre à la Semaine québécoise de réduction des déchets 2022 qui se tiendra du 21 au 30 octobre 2022 et les encourager à adopter des comportements éco-responsables et à mettre en œuvre de bonnes pratiques environnementales durables.
Un proposeur,
I'll propose that Nancy Koufianis.
and second.
And I'll second that, Mike Brown.
Thank you.
It is now the time for the mayor's report on the decisions taken by the Montreal Urban Agglomeration Council that took place on September 22nd, 2022.
The only thing that happened there at item 06.01, I, as Vice President of the Commission on Transport and Public Works, I deposit or table a report with a recommendation from this commission, where we had a total of 14 recommendations, and the work that was done was to look at to increase the warranty period of road work warranties, and bottom line, I read part of the report and it was tabled at that meeting. So if anybody wants a copy of this report, it's easily available to me. So I need, that's all for now. Any?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Il n'y a aucun sujet apporté au point 14, affaires gouvernementales. Au point 15, nous avons une résolution d'appui. Considering that north of the Montreal Pierre-Elliott Trudeau International Airport is a valuable integrated ecosystem of 215 hectares of wetlands consisting of fields, forests, and marshes owned by the Government of Canada and leased to Aéroport de Montréal, hereinafter referred to as the federal lands. Considering that the federal lands are located in part in the city of Dorval, called the Gulf d'Orval, and in part in the borough of Saint Laurent of the city of Montreal. Considering that this integrated wetland ecosystem includes the ecologically important monarch field used by monarch butterflies to feed and breed during their migration to and from Montreal, a city with the status of monarch-friendly city gold level. Considering that in July 2019, the town of Kirkland, like other municipalities, adopted a resolution by which it committed to make Kirkland a monarch-friendly town, as well as to help protect their habitats, it is proposed that the town of Kirkland support the request made by the city of Dorval concerning the future of the Monarch Field, the Dorval Golf Course, and the lands owned by the federal government north of the Pierre-Elliott Trudeau International Airport that are actually leased to Aéroport de Montréal.
So somebody to propose it?
I'll propose that, Mike Brown.
And second?
I'll second that, Nancy Coconus.
Thank you.
Au point 16, le conseil municipal prend acte du dépôt de la correspondance pour le mois de septembre 2022 par item Pierre. There is nothing to report for item 17, which brings us to the question period. Alors, la période des questions est maintenant ouverte. Tout le monde du public qui désire s'adresser au conseil municipal est prié de faire la file derrière le micro et de respecter la distanciation physique. Lorsque le droit de parole vous est accordé, veuillez ne pas toucher le micro, énoncer vos noms et adresses et formuler votre question de manière claire et concise en vous adressant au maire dans un langage respectueux. Chaque intervention est limitée à 2 questions. Il vous sera possible de poser des questions supplémentaires lorsque tous les membres du public qui désirent s'adresser au conseil auront eu l'occasion de le faire. Public question period is now open. Members of the audience who wish to address the municipal council are requested to line up behind the microphone and to respect physical distancing. When given the floor, please refrain from touching the microphone. State your name and address and direct your question to the mayor in a clear and concise manner using respectful language. Each intervention is limited to 2 questions. You will be able to ask additional questions once all members of the audience who wish to address the municipal council have had a chance to do so.
Good evening, Ken Lyons, 18 Rondo. First question has to do with work that's being, contracts that are given out. When we give a contract out, do we have time limits that are imposed on the contractor as to when the job is supposed to be completed?
Normally, yes. Oh, sorry, again. Normally, yes. And we don't do like Montreal. If you remember on Falcon, and I can mention other street, normally they take 2 years to do. They start with the sidewalk and they finish with the street. But yes, we've got a time limit,
The reason why I'm raising it is that we have a big sign at Camden Park, where the tennis courts were redone. They were not totally unavailable this year. And I mentioned it before, it was at least a couple of weeks where there's no work done
It was some delay, I noticed.
and still not finished.
Yeah.
And even it's a battle if you want to walk through the park. That's part of my morning walk is to come through from Cambridge and get over on the other side of Surrey. It was completely blocked off.
I'll ask our DG, Joe, to comment, please.
You want to finish your comment?
Pardon me?
You want to finish your question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Very good. We're not happy with their contract, and
Yes,
their
sir.
contract for that site. We've had, it's not just supply delays that have caused delays in the park, but it's also just getting his employees out to actually do the work. Well, when you say that we have time limits, the answer to that is yes, we do. And we have penalty clauses. I can assure you that the penalty clauses in this particular case for every day that he's late will be applied. But I understand that for the residents, it's an inconvenience,
Yeah.
but we're trying to, we have a legal contract with them, we have to live by that, but we do have elements that we can impose on.
Well, perhaps it's good to have maybe a clause like sometimes put in. If they're late, they're fined.
Yeah, it is.
So that clause does exist.
It
So we
is.
do fine per day.
Exactly.
Okay. Good. Comment, I walked through the Camden Woods, the park.
It's clean now? Oh,
They did a fabulous job. It's very nice.
Thank you.
It's actually like a park because all the wood chips are down there.
Oh.
I just hope the trees can grow. A suggestion, excuse me, is that there's, I forget the name of the blasted tree. Buckthorns are growing on the periphery of that park. And that's an invasive species that is bloody, outright horrible.
Exactly.
I don't know if you're aware of it, but wherever it grows, it poisons the soil so that other trees can't grow.
You're
I can attest to that because I happen to live right at the top of Lakeview Cemetery where they have a wooded area. And that thing is awful. It's like
It's
a jungle
invasive.
with, buckthorn.
exactly.
So as I said, it's a suggestion. Another comment, the city did a beautiful job of fixing up on the internet. It's well patched up and I really appreciate the fact that they've done that. And finally, one question, it's a repeat from the past. That we have in the minutes of the council are questions that are hit by the public and the answers that are provided. It's part and parcel of the council meeting. I don't see why we're trying to hide it. It's the impression that we have. Yes, I know you said before, Michelle, that
It's on the video?
no, it's not on the video.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Check it
must have
out.
missed last week's because I went through it looking for something.
It's available, the question period.
Okay, but if,
You have a comment?
So it's definitely available on our website the next day, Ken,
Yep.
and the entire meeting from start with the question period is on the website.
would be good in the minutes too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Moreno Cheval, 98 Morley Hill. I want to make you aware of a certain stretch of our territory.
Okay.
So if we take a walk along Chemin-Saint-Brie going west,
From your place?
here, going out here.
Okay, all the way on
Going
St.
west.
Mary? Okay.
You pass choices of going over the overpass, but I want you to take the walk continuously straight ahead until you pass by the fence that separates the service road and Monsadel. Are you aware of what I'm talking about here?
Oh, the fence.
The green
Oh, the
fence.
green fence.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
Payment? Yeah, okay.
all of a sudden, the sidewalk stops and there's about 200 feet of just green space following the fence.
Okay.
Now, if you're thinking long-term of providing pathways for pedestrians or cyclists, or for that matter. That stretch should not be left green. Something like a sidewalk or an asphalted pathway should be done so that it's easier to move from where the fence starts until you have the sidewalk that goes over the overpass, the westernmost overpass. Did I make my situation clear where it is?
We,
I think you're referring to, if I do it the opposite, Marino, if I do it when you're coming off the service road and you want to take Chemasic Marie to go to Rousseau or Mossadel, you're talking about from the service road along that green fence that exists on the right-hand side?
Yes,
There's a line of trees there, right?
yes.
Perfect. Okay, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
okay.
Do you have any plans? Does the city have any plans for
We
that?
will have some major,
There's going to be some presentations.
yeah, we've got a presentation coming to the public, especially the resident of District 8, because there'll be some changes that will happen there. So we're not ready to tell you exactly what will be coming, but first of all, we'll explain to the people that are living on Mossadel, Saint-Tropez, Jules, Agincourt, what's going to happen there. So for now, there's nothing to be announced.
Okay, did I make myself clear as to
Yep.
the reason
Very
why?
clear.
Because I mean, if you want to walk, if you want to take the bike to go to the ramp,
Yeah.
that stretch is very important,
But all that
especially in the
sector-
winter.
All that sector will be reaménagé to basically be able to go to the train station on the other side of it, on the rail station.
Okay, good, all right, thank you.
Okay.
If I ask a question on behalf of my wife, does it count as one of my two questions?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
She said to us, Mr. Mayor, how come there's so many more waterworks interruptions this year than in the past?
Yeah, okay, Joe, concerning.
You know what answer that?
Yep.
A couple of reasons, Marino. One is we're 62 years old. So we're getting to a point where pipes that are normally good for about 70 years need to get reworked. So that's where we're at. So a lot of the pipes that we're working on right now in Chemasic Marie, we're related to just that. We're lining, without having to dig everything out, we're lining the inside of the pipe to give it another 25 to 35 years of lifespan. Because right now they're at the end of their life cycle. So that, unfortunately, your side of and Karen's district has taken a beating this year with the amount of work that's happened there. So not only did we line the pipes and do construction in that area, we also had some water main breaks in the temporary lines that we installed. So unfortunately, because it's such an isolated area, when the water gets cut off, the residents there are seriously impacted. We've had Montreal do a ton of work just at the border of Montclair and Kirkland on all of the major lines entering. The one that enters for your district from the south and the one that enters from the northern part of the city as well. Have seen a lot of valve replacements. I've seen a lot of sections of pipe replaced. It just appears that everything is happening all in one year. And to top things off, the cherry on the icing for you guys this past week was every 2 years, we have to do an inspection of all the fire hydrants. So it ended up that this year was your second that got inspected. So that just got done in the last 2 weeks. And unfortunately, it's not a draining of the system, it's actually to see whether or not there's enough pressure in the fire hydrants to allow for the fire department to address fires should they need to, God forbid. So it just seems that for whatever reason this year, your sector took a beating on water or grids and work that needed to get done. But I can assure you one thing, it's all necessary work, because the other option is we don't do it, we get water main breaks at -30 in the wintertime, and we're affected for much longer periods of time. So I apologize for the inconvenience for this summer. Can I promise that you're not going to get inconvenience next summer? I can't promise you that 100%, but there's definitely some serious work that's being done in that sector.
And your counselor really let the administration know, okay?
On her behalf, I have, thank you for the answer.
Okay.
6.6, that was my wife's question, right? You said yes.
That's your
Now
last
I have
question.
my second
Come back,
question.
we'll give the chance of.
You don't want me to ask my second
No,
question?
Okay, we go behind you, Marino.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, name?
Luc Pigeon, 1686-76 Hymas. As you know, lately I've been submitting a lot of documents, videos, flash drives to the city clerk in support of my questions and for the different committees. I would like to know what happens to these things after I submit them here at the council. What happens after that?
Okay, your question was, are you aware of this?
So that's the second question.
No,
I'm on my first question.
Yeah, but I'm responding to your question. Can you-
Yeah, well, that's what I asked my
Wait
question.
a minute, please. First of all, yes, we're aware of it, and yes, we received your USB key. Everybody has a copy, they get your email, and they're free to look at what you're sending them. Yes, we're aware.
What happens to it? Is it thrown out or is it kept?
I look at it, it's in the computer, it's still
No,
there.
I'm talking about what I'm submitting today. I'm submitting a USB key and
Yes,
2 documents.
I got that one also.
No, I'm asking you what you do with my documents after I withdraw the trouble.
The document are basically goes directly to Annie, our greffier, and they're kept, and we've got copies of your USB keys. And it's up to the councillor to do whatever they want with it.
Oh, you get a copy of the USB, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thanks, that's good. And I hope that my documents also.
Because you said,
No, that's my first question.
yes, but I'm talking about what you're submitting, your USB drive that I will file with the city clerk on Monday the 3rd. She gets it, we get a copy also.
Oh,
And
okay.
if they want to look at it, it's their choice.
I can't do anything about that either.
No, me too.
Are you ready for my second question?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I submit this now?
But we already have it.
No, listen, I've got.
Oh, it's a new one?
It's all new stuff.
Bring it over.
I do, that's all I do.
Oh, no, I know that.
My life is devoted to try to do something about the climate emergency.
Yeah, no, and it's a good cause.
I think so.
Yeah.
Keeps me busy. I love it.
Ain't that the truth?
Everybody's got to have the project in their lives. Otherwise, life is meaningless.
Okay, your second question, Mr. Bishop.
Michel, Mike, you were at the annual council meeting on the 25th.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't want to interrupt the
No,
research.
go ahead, go ahead.
You were at the last annual council meeting, 25th of September?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Sophie Mazzaro tonight. I'm going to ask you the same question.
Then you were answered by the AGLO, and she's part of the
She
AGLO.
did not answer my
I'm
question.
sorry, you
I
have
will ask my
already your
question.
answer.
Please let me ask my question.
No, you have your answer.
No, I haven't asked my second
The
question.
AGLO responded to your question through this lady that's part of.
No,
the
listen, it's completely different anyway, but it's a similar question.
It's the same.
Modified, no, I modified everything.
So you
Can I-
have an
can I ask
answer,
you a
you got
question?
the answer.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Catastrophic events like Hurricane Fiona and Ian will become more frequent and deadly because of the following 3 reasons. Unequal ownership and control of production continues to breed high per capita carbon footprints. And you have the diagram, you have a picture of how they are, it's a graphic. Number 2, biased reporting by corporate media continues to keep citizens poorly informed and misinformed about the disastrous consequences of impacting climate change. And reason number 3, inaction of governments continues to allow corporations and media to continue to breed high per capita carbon footprints. Question, this is my question. Why, 4 years after having declared a climate emergency, is our per capita carbon footprint still 3 times higher than the average per capita carbon footprint of the rest of the world? Would you please watch the video, Unequal Ownership of Production Drives the High Per Capita Carbon Footprint, for more detailed information.
I will watch the video for more details information.
But you haven't answered why we're 3 times higher than the average per capita carbon footprint.
You know the answer already.
You know, 75% of the CO2 that's emitted comes from the carbon footprints of individuals.
And you know that Quebec has the lowest footprint?
No, it does not, sir.
Okay.
The lowest footprint is about 100 times lower than ours.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Good evening, my name is Hazel Army, 46 Reginald Brown in Brooklyn. I was here last time and I asked about building a cultural centre and aquatic centre. And then I read in the newspaper that you've just acquired $65 million from the sale of the land. Okay, so even after you've paid all of your expenses and whatever, I'm sure that there will be money left over. But the other problem is that there is getting to be less and less land where you could actually build a cultural and aquatic centre. So I'm asking you again, very politely, if you would really seriously consider this project. You said in your article also that you wanted to elect Kirkland to be a shining example for the region and the province. Well, we can hardly be a shining example when we don't have services that are adequate for all our citizens. And also about carbon footprint, we're happy to drive to Point Claire, Kirkland, Dollard, Desormeaux for those services, and we could have them here in Kirkland. We could ride a bike instead of taking a car. So,
Excellent question. Okay, when we sold that piece of land, we did have an option on a corner of that line near St. Charles and the Tecan, where we said, okay, we'll keep, let's say, we've got an option on a piece of land that we sold that we could buy back, and we've got 2 years to do that. In the meantime, this council will sit down and will look at the possibility of having something on that piece or that corner. Will it be a pool? Would it be a tier? Would it be an inside splash park? Well, we'll have discussion on that possibility of adding something there. So it's going the right way. So at least we got that piece of land that's been reserved where we can basically, we got an option to exercise in before 2 years where we'll pay the same price that we sold it. But first of all, we will be hiring a consultant to give us all the possibility of what we can do with that piece of land. And the subject will come on where we'll be looking at what can we put there. A pool, splash park, inside of the théâtre, who knows? But the plan is there, and this council will take a decision at one point, but we're not ready to basically officially say what will be on that piece of land.
when you consider a pool, what in my head wasn't just a pool, but a pool and cultural centre. If you go to Ville Saint-Laurent or Saint-Lambert, they have beautiful facilities where you have an indoor pool, a diving pool, they have meeting rooms, theatre services, reading rooms, all kinds of things that are annexed above it and around it.
Oh, there's all kinds of
And it would be something, we could build something incredible here if we really wanted to. But speaking to many of the older residents of Kirkland, they've told me not to try to bother to ask the question because they've been asking for years to have a pool and the answer is always no. So I'm just hoping that now you'll be more open to the question.
So we are, based on what I told you, we've got a piece of land that council here will decide what to do with it. And there's a vision, but first of all, we have to meet, see what we can do with that imprint or that line. And yes, all these possibilities will be looked at. I can assure you that.
Okay, fine. Thank
And
you.
there is one place you should go and look that I like a lot. It's in the van.
Yeah,
What
I've
they-
been there.
Yes.
Okay, so, and I'm planning to bring council there eventually to go and see it,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
okay?
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're
I have a second
Oh,
question.
yeah, go ahead.
Is the only place that you advertise public consultation in the website, or do you have other means of publicising it? Because I've been to 3 council meetings now, and every time there is somebody that comes up and asks a question about some development,
Yeah.
and the answer is, well, there's already been public consultations. But obviously, they didn't know And I'm sure that most of the population in Kirkland doesn't know, because I don't know whether you've evaluated how many people actually consult the website on a regular basis.
But you're talking about which piece of land and which
Or
public
any-
consultation?
Just any public
Okay,
consultation.
if you look at the Merck Ross, it was our first, I would say, in the West Island, even close to the province of Quebec, where we hired a consultant, where the political arm was not even involved, where basically we invited the resident of that sector, the Lacey Green or the Merck Frost project, where we invited the resident of that area that had an impact of either saying yes or no to such a project. So a committee was created. There was at the beginning close to 26 residents that wanted to be part of that committee. And they chose between themselves to choose only 8. And we had also 2 of our administration, our Director General, and also our Director of Urbanism, Town Planning. And also we had 1 person representing the Broccolini that was selling the land. And we had also Prével Laurence, the president, that was basically wanting to purchase the land. And all that came out of there was done by the resident. We had a big reunion here where we were online, where people could ask questions and all that. Bottom line, the resident and the committee of 4, my DG and my director of town planning, and also the 2 promoters involved, came up with a plan. And the plan was accepted by everybody that's there. So when we talk about public consultation, we believe in it. Also, we'll have public consultation on a future project of the RioCan. So we'll do exactly what we did with the, over there, there's less of a zoning change to be done because the zoning is always in place. But we already consulted part of a population. I don't know if you remember approximately 3 years ago, where we invited everybody at the arena. Okay, and most of you were there. We had close to 1,000 residents. We had residents here at the gym, at the rec center upstairs. And we created round tables to know exactly what's your need, what do you want us to build there, or what do you would like to see there. And all of these recommendations were discussed with council, but also the promoter, they had it in their hands. And even the first plan that we saw over there, they were looking at a town center. So for the consultation process, we're number 1. And I won't mention other cities, but we listen to our residents.
Okay, fine, that's all I wanted to know.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next.
Jean Lunch, 42.
Mark.
Okay, I just wanted to comment on the flowers and bloom that you people did was very well done, and security, and even being thoughtful enough to deliver little baskets, little gift things for people was great, which looks wonderful. We all did our job, and your signs and everything, great. You're very thoughtful. Now, when it comes to putting things at your front door, you discourage, we're not allowed to put our green box or our recycle box on the driveway.
On the side.
On the end. But lately, and last year and this year, I'm beginning to see people's front doors having stacks of firewood.
Okay. They
Now,
should
to
be on the
me,
side.
that is dangerous. Number 1, with the number of teenagers and kids roaming around and painting your metal signs, these guys just have to throw a match and you're gonna have a problem.
Where are you seeing these, that were in the
There's
front
2
of the
on,
house?
right now, there's 2 on Kirkland Boulevard.
In the front of the house or?
Right on the side, so they go in their door here, and here it is stacked up to the top. This
Stacked
one
or
has
just delivered?
Stacked, to the ceiling.
it's stacked.
It's stacked. I mean, instead of going into the garage or the side of the house, this is what they're doing. Last year, there were 4 of them, and on Kirkland Boulevard. So, now I'm starting with 2 at senior, but we're gonna have 4, we're gonna have 6 for sure, guaranteed. So I don't know about a bylaw, or you have anything, or that never says anything. Or security could just stop by, because you see the policemen on their bikes all the time, or you see your security going around. I mean, I just go out walking and I'm seeing these 2, but it's basically, it's a catch-all. So it's dangerous.
Point well taken.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you.
Joe,
Spencer.
you said at 62 years, I have to be reworked. I'm 69.
Okay.
Okay. You
What
still have
happens
to,
10 years late, is that what you're saying?
What happens to me?
you still have to say your name and your address.
Spencer Haywood, 46 Schomburg Tank, Kirkland, H9H5E2. What a wonderful group of people right in front of me. You guys have taken care of every request that I've asked. Not problems, not situations, but solutions. Thank you so much. We have 11 of my immediate family that live in Kirkland in different locations. We are a Kirkland family. We understand the workings of Kirkland because we all get our taxes. We appreciate you guys holding the taxes down to the minimum. Appreciate it very much. I wanted to suggest that Dominic Zito be nominated Counselor of the Day. Because
Okay, we're just picking.
here's the money out here. Tomorrow's another day. He has taken every request that I've asked and taken it to council, and everybody's acted on it. And on really, and as you know, so congratulations, thanks very much, and keep up the good work. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Spencer. Thank you. It's good.
Bob Cox, 168 Niagara.
Okay, Bob.
My question is about the study about the on Niagara and Reginald Brown. That you had you had the bumps there. So what is the outcome of it?
John, you want to comment on that?
I'll answer that. We're looking at it right now, Bob. The first person that we contact is the person who put the complaint through, or the suggestion through. They will be getting a letter before we tell you or anybody else. They get it first, okay? Right now, we're looking at that study, so it'll be out in the next day or so. Okay?
Okay. Okay, the second question is what Hazel was talking about, I read it in the papers too and everything like that, about your people getting $67 or $65 million.
67.
67.
Excuse me, not used people, us.
The customer, okay.
All of
Okay,
us.
Okay, Mr. So anyways, I know you got expenses and all that, and you'll be approximately $35 million that you'll be holding in approximately that after all the expenses?
It will be well administered, Bob.
No, I'm asking you the amount, sir. After, it was $76 million.
If you look at this 67, we basically expropriate this land in 211 and 215 from 2 groups. Yeah, all the 67 is ours. And in those days, there was an expropriation that we did, but the 67 million is all ours.
It's all yours.
Yeah,
So,
we don't send it, there's none of that money going to Montreal.
no, I'm not saying I'm going to get out. I said, you got expenses on that, not so? Or is it clear now?
Now, we've got, on top of that, we've got a welcome tax of $1,650,000 by the way.
Oh, so we're up to 68 million something.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
Well, just to say that we have currently sold the property for some money.
Yes.
Right now, that money's in the.
Well, it's in the paper, 67,
You know,
okay.
and that money is in the bank. So
It's
it's still enough.
So we're gonna be looking at a new cultural center, I guess?
Man, that's what I mentioned earlier, not the cultural, we're looking at different possibilities.
Yeah, but just a minute, we're looking, we need a pool, we need,
Like the.
right next to your arena, that's obsolete. You got a basketball court. Now let's, like you said, you're gonna go to the Dorval, you're gonna go to maybe, Bill St. Laurent, look at
We
that.
got some plans.
Plans, yeah.
When the time will come, we'll be announcing to our residents.
Are you gonna have sessions that people could, like here, like quite a few years ago, when Merck Cross had something, we were here. And
We know already what you want, Bob.
Yes, but what we need
And
to do.
council wants the same thing that you, so give us the time and time to basically sit down with council, have this consultant come over and, because we've got that piece of land that's reserved or on hold for 2 years, and then we'll see what we can do with it.
How big is it?
But Michelle, please don't say council wants what you.
Yeah.
Because I
I know.
have Spencer, I have all residents, not one
I
Bob.
know, it's
Everything
part
said
of
that.
it, right. Okay. So for the moment, we're not ready to announce nothing, Bob, but eventually you'll see everybody will be happy, we'll do it for our residents.
For our residents,
Yeah,
for the people of Kirkland.
Yeah.
Remember, 8 years ago, Kirkland was named one of the top cities in Canada.
it was,
Approximately maybe 6, 7, you know, I mean, let's.
17 years ago, in the Chatelaine. 17 years ago, Chatelaine, I got the article.
so-
And it's still one of the best places to
Well,
live.
I'm not knocking it down, don't get me wrong. Okay, my next question is,
Oh, you're the what?
okay.
No, just joking, go ahead. You're the only one there.
I'm the only one there. I'm very much concerned about, the overpass from St. Marie going onto the 40, going west. You got a yield sign when we get off there, and the cars are zooming by on the service road. There's 2 stop signs ahead of that.
You the rim station? Okay.
He brought that up the last
Yeah, the
time.
last time you brought it up,
I figured probably somebody would look into a stop sign where the yield sign is on the left-hand side.
you want to,
It's gonna make things worse, Bob. So we've
We're not gonna
analyzed,
have more accidents.
we've analyzed that situation thoroughly. The best situation we could possibly make is what we've had.
yeah.
That is gonna be coming undone soon, so.
Yes, I'm
In
done.
the next couple of weeks, the boards will come down, Johnny will be opened up again.
Exactly.
It has to be opened up for winter time. So the next, they had told us end of October, and they're on schedule. So
Okay,
so in the next 2 or 3 weeks, that'll get resolved.
If we can be.
What I'm concerned about is because it's,
I drive it every day, Bob. That's how I go home.
you have to watch yourself.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, I agree. I agree that it's much,
Okay, Bob? Marie?
Marine Shidlin, 98 Milan over here.
Okay.
Am I allowed to ask some more questions?
Yes, go ahead.
6.6.
6.6. Yeah, avec d'autres publics, professionnels d'évaluation. Essentially, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, you mentioned something about Canadian Tire and so on and so forth.
No, that's not Canadian Tire. 6.6 is not Canadian Tire.
No, I'm getting to the question.
Oh.
So, I'm trying to establish some sort of measurements as to how much of the underground or the ground level terrain the REM owns or is responsible for, and who owns the rest. Do you understand my question?
No, I don't understand.
we have the ramp going up,
Yeah,
then if you go straight down,
yeah, and
I
it's
presume
it's
all
true.
of that space is controlled by the ramp corporation.
Yeah,
Now,
it's,
what about 2 yards, 2 meters away on the right and to the left?
so
Who owns that land?
you're looking at parking. It's like the last question you asked the last time. Yeah, that's what you want to know.
Well, I want to know who owns,
But first of all, what's underneath, there's a servitude, okay? It's owned by the land, is owned, expropriated. It's owned by the city of Infro, the rent. So what's underneath, you know, if you want to put parking there, it's the rent that will decide exactly what to put there. But I would doubt that you'll see like the Metropolitan Boulevard where you got cars.
no,
in certain areas.
I'm not asking directly underneath, I'm asking, give me some boundaries as to how, some measurements. Is it 2 meters, 3 meters? When we look at the south side, looking at it, we look on the south side, there's a fence because there's the Trans-Canada there. Who owns, you know, these pieces of land that are not directly
exactly
under the structure?
No, it's not true.
So there are properties, Marino, that are directly down the sides of the rail that's owned by the REM. They temporarily have another servitude, as Michelle was mentioning, that was wider than that to allow them to work. Right, so it really depends. There's example, when Michelle's makes complicated, it is because, example, Canadian Tire is working on taking that land back. Other companies refuse to take it back. So who owns it right now is very difficult to tell you because it really depends on which property you're talking about.
And we're not involved in that expropriation process. We were involved in our own expropriation process where they did pass, oh no, and also the piece of land that we own, we just sell. So, I mean, you know, we got some money for that also.
Well, using the example of Canadian Tire,
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know exactly the measurements that they're taking over, or they're in contract with, or in talks with the REM. I mean, is it the whole space that they're taking? If there's any left over, who owns it?
it's their call because we don't, we're not part of the negotiation. It's Canadian Tire and the rent people, City PQA from.
Well, I guess I'm not making myself clear here. The REM is there, and this space here, who owns it?
Between the street and the ramp.
Between the street and the REM,
It
between
would
the
be-
sidewalks and
We
the
got a
REM.
sidewalk there, that's ours, but it's the rent that owns it.
Okay,
And we don't have the exact measurement, and
no, it doesn't have to be exact measurement, I just want to know. You just said that we own it, Kirkland owns it.
But the sidewalk,
The sidewalk,
Okay, then any further,
we don't.
They're gonna be
We
empty
don't
queue.
know.
I mean, I don't know if
It's
you,
the same
the
as-
line kind of goes in and out, right? It goes into the property and comes out. On the property that we just sold, we're further north on the property.
Yeah, okay,
It
yeah.
varies from place to place, so it's difficult to say to you, you know, in every single location, we have.
no, I'm not asking for every single location, I'm just asking for the general idea who owns it and what is the
shared
city
ownership.
planning to
Some
do
is
with
Share
it.
ownership.
Some is owned by the REM and some is owned by the private company that owns that property, and some of it is owned by us, because we own the property.
And the MTQ.
And the MTQ, so
Oh,
it really
yeah, yeah.
depends on what property you're referring to.
Well, it's
But
very difficult
Marino, what's
for
the
me to-
purpose of your question?
It's parking.
The purpose of my question is twofold. If Canadian Tire is using that strip because they want to expand the parking lot, whatever, well, what happens if 2 meters of it belongs to the city?
Well, they can't expropriate, the Canadian Tire won't be allowed to use it, right?
You have to come and see us, Marino.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just answered the question.
Okay.
Thank you. The second question, number 7, administration and finance. I'm thoroughly bamboozled and discombobulated as to what it means.
Which,
Number 7, that will.
yeah, but there is 7, you've got 7.1, 7.2, and 7.
Okay, let's say 7.2.
Okay, authorized to sign work agreement, water, sewer, storm sewer, and road infrastructure, Kirkland, Okay, there's a part, I think.
Could I ask my question on this?
May I know where you're going, but I can explain what it is.
Okay, if you don't explain what a question I want to ask.
Okay, go ahead.
It seems to me as if, Mr. Sandalese, if I heard you probably mention before, authorized him, like he has carte blanche to do.
No, he doesn't,
Well,
because,
could you give us some?
Joe, you want to explain that piece? Okay, it's a piece, it's a road going.
No, we're 7.2 now.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, it's a road that is going to, or will pass in front of the actual débarcadère for the bus, and also where the REM station will be, you know, on Jean. Okay, and it's an agreement because what's happening, we're able to get the REM to pay to do the infrastructure inside, the road itself, and also the piping inside. And eventually that road will be given back to us as a municipal road. And our Director General and our engineers will be monitoring the situation, so when they'll be doing it to our specs and connecting to our pipes, existing pipes. So it's just to control the situation on the street that will be basically given back to the city eventually. Joe, you want to clarify or add?
One last one. I don't sign anything, Marino, that the city hasn't seen and revised and reviewed. So I'm being authorized to sign the document. The document has been reviewed by council in detail, so I never have a carte blanche for anything.
No. Doesn't
Well,
exist.
I'm glad you gave some background information because I just couldn't understand why it was.
It's just to monitor the situation.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Any more questions?
Very quick question.
Go ahead.
The water tastes horrible. I know you got something in there. My question is very simply this. What has to be done, or what can be done, to make sure that we have water that tastes like it should be, such as they have in Montreal, such I think they don't have the same problem as here. I know the water is because there's algae and all that stuff,
Yeah.
but is it maybe possible to put the pipes further out in the river to find out? I don't want an excuse, I want to know, is it possible? And what can be done?
We don't control the filtration plant, like.
Sorry, there's too much noise.
Yeah, Bob.
Montclair used to control the filtration plant years ago. It's been taken over by Montreal, so we don't have a say in how they're going to spend their infrastructure money on the projects. You gave the first example, the ground that you're tasting is the algae from the warm water. There's no solution to it. There really isn't. So other than going further out, like you're suggesting, and investing millions of dollars in getting those pipes further out, there is no solution to that. It's
Well, there's
It's perfectly safe to drink. It's perfectly safe to drink.
it's perfectly safe to drink. I drink it.
It smells like herbs.
This is tap water.
Herbs is tap water.
Yeah, I know. That's
Okay.
so.
better than a water district.
Excuse me, but as my representative, our representative at the Agro,
We are American. We are.
Yeah.
is you make the pressure saying, hey, our water is unacceptable. You know, I gotta take bottled water, even the tea I drink tastes awful. You
Okay.
know, I know it's gonna clear up eventually, but this year is really horrible.
Yeah, we admitted it.
I know you admitted it,
Yeah.
as I say, get Montreal with all the money they get from our municipality and the other ones, they could put some back into our own use.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There is a solution, that's to get a little water filter.
Please, Mike.
What?
There is a
For now,
solution, and it's to get a little water filter. Now, my sister lives in Point St. Charles, in the city of Montreal, and the past month, she just got visited by the city of Montreal. They forced her to stop using her water, telling her that she has lead pipes coming from the city right into the house. They gave her a little $50 filter for now, But she's expected to pay over $7,000 of work to have the lead pipes removed. So the city of Montreal doesn't have great water, and it isn't such a great city. Not as great as Kirkland, anyway.
I don't accept your comparison. Lead pipes and algae, it's not the same thing at all.
But it's not only lead pipes. You should taste the water. When it comes out cloudy, when it comes out, you talk about brown water, this is really brown water. You have to see it.
You're in the oldest, one of the oldest parts of Montreal.
Yeah, and it's right next door. It's less than, I would say, less than 200 meters. If you know the area at all, Verdun or Point St. Charles,
Yes.
it's less than 200 meters. Then from a little creek that's called, and please no offense, it's named Schitt's Creek.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, last question, go ahead, Bob.
They used to road it.
Yeah.
You remember, eh?
Yeah, yes, I do. Brad Trump, Rowing Club.
Okay.
My question is about, I just wanna ask you, the council about is the boulevard gonna be built?
The what?
The boulevard, right next to the rim.
Yeah, there's for bus only.
For the buses only.
Yeah, from Antoine Faucon that will come to the Grand Station. Yeah.
From Antoine Faucon?
Yeah, Antoine, bus and pedestrian and bike.
Oh, it's not going down to Pierreful?
No,
It's by Pierrefonds was Antoine Faucon.
Not Pierrefonds Boulevard, no.
Yeah,
No, I'm talking about
it doesn't go to Pierrefonds. It starts at Antoine Faucon, an emprise of the 440 that will come join directly the Sainte Marie to bring the buses directly to the M station.
And the bicycles.
And bicycle. Okay. Okay, any more questions? No? Okay, thank you very much. Our next public meeting will be on Monday, November the 7th at 8 p.m. Thank you all for coming. Have a nice evening. And let's cross our fingers for the election.
Oh,
they've already been declared winners.
Okay.
Huge majority.
I told you, we're gonna finish.
I need a proposal.
I'll propose to close the meeting.
And second.
Second.